Hey everyone, Calvin Wazoo here, Richard, and it's time for another recent finds. We're up to number 9, and this one is some vinyl and some CDs, and some alternative rock and music and anime. But I got a couple of duds in here that I picked up that will be in the mix. So let's get started. All right. With this release, Anohni, Hopelessness. This is a fantastic record. Now, Anohni began as Antony and the Johnsons. This is the debut album from the year 2016, I believe, under the name Anohni. Initially, Anthony, born Anthony Hegarty, was transgender, but went by the pronouns they. Many appearances on the Late Show with David Letterman. They were on repeatedly. Letterman asked them back many times to perform. So I am pretty certain that Letterman was a fan. And I would believe that because Anohni's singing is just absolutely amazing. So evocative, a voice that was just so unique. And the discography, she now goes by the pronoun she, her, and because she had fully transitioned, but also because she was recognizing the hateful rhetoric of the Republican right, that she felt like she needed to take a stand personally and really be front and forward as a fully transitioned person, and using and fully embracing the pronouns she and her. So her discography goes all the way back to 2000. The first time I ever heard of Anthony and the Johnsons was when I was living in Holland, Michigan, which is like the epicenter of the Republican right wing, the Christian right wing. I mean, we're talking, it is the Midwest evangelical Rome, citadel of the Vatican, so to speak. Colorado Springs being the Vatican of the evangelicals, but Holland, Michigan in Ottawa County, very much a very influential and powerful group. Hope College of the Reformed Church of America is there. Grand Rapids, Michigan nearby has Calvin College, which is affiliated more with the Christian Reformed Church, the CRC. Nonetheless, these are very conservative Christian churches and very deeply involved in conservative Republican politics. I could go on all about that. Anyway, Anohni really felt like she had to start making statements. And this album is really quite brilliant. There's a lot of anger in it, but there's also a lot of love and very clear empathy. The sample track I'm going to play for you is the song, part of the song 4 Degrees. Very strong and beautiful voice. I would strongly recommend that you further check out both Anthony and the Johnsons and her releases under the name Anohni. All right, so the next one is a CD, and it's Electric Larryland by the Butthole Surfers. So in my local record store, there was a vinyl release of Electric Larryland, but it was, I was initially unsure, which one that they were trying to sell. They wanted $100 for it, and the 1996 Capitol Record vinyl releases, those are the ones that you would prefer to get when it comes to a vinyl release of Electric Larryland. There was a reissue on Plain Recordings in 2016 that fully advertises on it that it's a 180 gram reissue. And it's a 3-sided record, just like the original was, with the 4th side being etched. But there were problems with it. And the releases that were sent out into the market that had problems were not recalled, so they ended up getting circulated and sold. And I guess I'm not exactly clear on what the problem was, but it was like the last couple songs on each of the sides were recorded at the wrong speed, or they were engraved in the lacquer at the wrong speed, or something. Just something was really, really off with them. And a lot of people were saying that, why would you pay $100 for this? It's a shit album because of the problems with the pressing. And that's what they wanted for it, was $100. But then I also realized that $100, if it was an original 1996, was a pretty good price. But the closer they had it up on the wall, and the closer I looked at it, I could see this hype sticker saying, 180 gram, which was kind of the giveaway that this was probably that reissue. So I settled for getting the CD. I mean, I almost have every Butthole Surfer release in terms of full albums, and I have a couple EPs as well. I'm going to play a sample from the opening track called Birds. This recording, or this release, I should say, in the totality of the discography, is considered one of the weaker releases. Doesn't necessarily get a lot of respect, but I really like this one, and I'm still in the market for finding a vinyl release of it if I could get the 96 and not pay an exorbitant price for it. But I am very, very happy that I've got this on CD now in my collection. It's just the Butthole Surfers, man. It's just, one of these days, because I do have most of their discography, I'm going to go through and just do a video that is devoted to the Butthole Surfers. All right, so now I'm going to talk about one of my turds, that I picked up, because I recently saw this in my one of the record stores that I go to frequently. It's a record store very close to where I live, and I'm a big fan of the Peel sessions. Mr. Peel, now his first name escapes me. But he, where is this? It should be on the record what his full name is, and I can't remember. But anyway, British DJ, and he did a lot of sessions with a lot of famous bands, and then they were released as records, these sessions, usually EPs, the not full-length albums. And he's got a lot of them. There are seriously more than 100 of these releases, and there are some recent ones that are available as well. The early ones have covers like this, and the one I saw in the store was this one, the Peel Session for Extreme Noise Terror. Okay, now I knew this was going to be a metal band, all right, but well, the sample I'm going to play for you is called Another Nail in the Coffin. So give it a listen. This kind of metal, I don't like. I really don't like this. The Cookie Monster vocals are really what the big turnoff is for me. The musicianship is okay, but you know what? It's a Peel Session, and I'm not going to take it back. I'm going to keep it. Maybe I'll gift it to someone. But yeah. It's the band Extreme Noise Terror. This release is from 1988. They're also known as Ent, not the tree-ish Ents, mind you. But they're a British extreme metal band that began in Ipswich, 1985. Mostly as they have a hardcore punk origin. You can definitely maybe hear a little bit of that in there. But then they got into this this extreme metal, which, as I say, doesn't appeal to me. I'm trying to think, did I say the name of the song? It's called Another Nail in the Coffin. That was the needle drop that I played for you. So, and it's got this, kind of interesting insert that came with it. The lyrics, when I'm looking at the lyrics and what the songs are about, they're very socially conscious and aware lyrics, but the way they are sung, I can't understand them. And I really wonder how many of their fans, especially, excuse me, at a live gig, are really paying attention to the lyrics. They're only responding, I think, to the sound. But I could be very wrong. If you're a fan of this type of extreme metal, leave a comment in the down under. Don't try and persuade me, okay? Just the sound, I'm not a fan. But, you can clarify if, in fact, fans of the band are even aware of what the band is singing about. The next one is also kind of a dud for me. It was a band and a record in particular that I loved when I was in high school, when I was a freshman in high school, 14, and I saw a gatefold one in very nice shape available in the store, and that's this one here, Uriah Heep, The Magician's Birthday. I remember, having this. It's such a fantastic gatefold cover. Very, very nice. The inside. I remember this when I got it at the time and really, really liked it. And so when I saw it in the store, I thought, oh, and the cover being really nice, I thought, wow, yeah, I'm going to get this, little nostalgia. And then I started playing it, and I'm like, you know what? Doesn't do it for me anymore. So because the cover is in really nice shape, I may end up, framing it, because that is such a cool cover. I didn't look up before doing this who did the cover art, and it's Roger Dean. Okay, so Roger Dean having done a lot of cover art for records at that time. This record coming from 1972. I'm going to play for you as the needle drop the title song, "The Magician's Birthday."
Garden, some were singing, some were dancing, while the midnight moon shone brightly overhead. Stars so gaily glistened, and the Sphinx in silence listened to the magician tell of lives that he had led. Let the bells of freedom ring, songs of love to Friday's king. Let's all go to the magician's birthday, to the forest, but not so far away.
You know, there are a couple good tracks on the record, but like I say, it just doesn't appeal to me like it did, you know, when I was a freshman in high school. So there you go with Uriah Heep and the Magician's Birthday. Okay, the next one. This is a electronic band that I picked up on in the late 70s and into the early 80s that I really, really liked. I was so impressed with their music. And it is Tangerine Dream. And I used to have this in my collection. This is Cyclone. And I got it back in my collection. I'm slowly bringing in the Tangerine Dream recordings that I used to have up until their release Exit, post-Exit. Not quite as interested in anymore in their releases, but pretty much everything up to Exit. Really, really good. This one, Cyclone, is from 1978. The sample I'm going to play for you is called Rising Runner, Missed by Endless Sender.
Rising runner, missed by endless sender, never coming back. Rising runner, never coming back, ever running over.
This song and another one, the opening track, and I'm trying to remember about side two. The Magical Meridian is side two, and that's all one side. And I'm trying to think if that has vocals with it. Not all Tangerine Dream albums have vocals. Most of them are instrumental. But very famous members of this band, you've got Klaus Krieger, Edgar Froese, and Chris Frank. Excellent stuff, and I'm gradually bringing everything back into my collection that I used to have. All right, now going to CDs, and these are more anime related. So if you're not interested in anime soundtracks or music associated with anime, then perhaps you don't want to go on with the video. But I'm going to start off with this first one, which is called the Sore Feet song. So this is a CD single. It's got 2 mixes of the Sore Feet song and then an instrumental. And this is by a Scottish fellow from Glasgow named Ali Kerr. And I've listened to some of his other music, and yeah, it's good. If I ever see it in a store, then I'll buy it. I don't think I'm going to order it because most, I did take a look to see. This comes from his debut album Calling Out to You, which was released in 2004, and this particular mix of the Sore Feet song is from 2005. Yeah, even if they only want $10 is kind of expensive for a used CD, and then you start adding postage, and then it just, it's too much money. But if I saw it in a store, I would certainly get this. And the reason I got this one and in these other soundtracks for anime is there's a fairly new seller on Discogs that sells Japanese CDs, but doesn't charge any postage, and the prices are pretty cheap. So I bought a bunch to check them out. At the time that I purchased, they only had 1 rating. They have had more ratings, and they're all perfect ratings. I gave them a perfect rating because I was really surprised. I was expecting this to come all the way from Japan. And it did take longer than a normal domestic order, but it was much faster than any order I got from Japan before. And when I looked at the return address, it was Utah. So I don't know. They must have some kind of distribution network. I really don't know. First, I'm going to play a little bit of this song, the Sore Feet song, which is the closing song to each episode of the series Mushishi, which you can, I'm trying to think, is it Netflix I watched that on, or is it Hulu? Anyway, here's a little bit of that song. Very nice voice. And the album Calling Out to You, some similar, a little more, indie pop kind of singer-songwriter material. It's unfortunate that you can't see. I mean, there's this embossed cover. You've got, the trees, like you're in a forest, which is very much reminiscent of the series Mushishi. But it's like there's this there. I think you might be able to see it here. You can see there's this like texture showing plants, but also mushi, which are these like spirit entities that live in the forest who sometimes cause mischief for humans. And so they're embossed onto, maybe you can see it if I get the reflection there, on the cover, quite nice. The obi, it did come with an obi, and I have that in there. But yeah, the Sore Feet song, really, 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 really nice. Next now are the CDs that they're all related to a particular anime series that is one of my favorites, and that's Evangelion. And what I have is this one here, very nice box that it comes in. But what it is Neon Genesis Evangelion Decade. Now, and here's the back. Neon Genesis Evangelion was the original series from the 1990s, focused on this boy Shinji. Basically, he has some severe father issues. His father runs this program of all these, giant robots, mechas, to protect the Earth from the angels, these angels or whatever, attacking the Earth. And Shinji is kind of brought into this whole network to protect the world or whatever. And there's all this conflict. It's very deep in terms of the psychological issues that Shinji and all the other characters, Ashoka and others, are struggling with, because they come from damaged backgrounds, very damaged backgrounds. And each one of them copes with their emotional damage in different ways, but they're all brought together because they are special, that they can connect with these giant robots, and kind of get their brain in sync with the robot, etc. So it's a great series. I love the series, and the music is pretty good. There are a lot of good orchestrations going on here. So this one is called Decade for the original series, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Then this is just the Neon Genesis Evangelion CD. Now, sometimes the songs are the same. There's some overlap, but they're all very different. I also have the OB that I keep inside here with this particular one. This one didn't come with an OB. And then there is this one, the Shirasagisu music from Evangelion 1.0. All right, which of course, I'm gonna have, because I'm such a fan here of Evangelion. Right, so this is Evangelion 1.11. You Are Not Alone, which is what this is also. You Are Not Alone. They call it 1.0, but then eventually 1.11. This is the Blu-ray. Then there was Evangelion 2.22. You can parenthetically not advance, also on DVD. Then there was a third installment. These are full-length movies. And then Evangelion at 3.33, you can parenthetically not redo. Got this also on the DVD. And then the final episode of Evangelion in this series was released just a year or so ago. I do not have a Blu-ray copy of it because it wasn't at the time. It may have been released in the US by now, but at the time of its theatrical release, it was not released on Blu-ray or DVD in the United States. But Amazon Prime had it, so I was able to watch it on Amazon Prime. And then, of course, I had to get the Blu-ray of the series, the entire series, the original series, which this also includes two feature-length films that came out before these others that are sort of like post the series. There was Evangelion, the end of Evangelion, and then Evangelion Death, True Squared. Anyway, yeah, I'm sort of an anime geek. And before I ramble on here, I'm going to play a track. This is a sample from this one here, Evangelion 1.0, You Are Not Alone. and the track is called "The Longest Day." So the music is varies really from being quite orchestral to, like this piece, which was part of the soundtrack where they were, I think, preparing for a big battle. So it has this sort of ominous, imperative beat coming in to match what was going on with the with what was going on in the video of it. So those are the other ones that I got with that. I mean, there is a vinyl release of the Shira Sagisu or Sagisu music from Evangelion. I'm probably never going to get it because every time I see that it's for sale on Discogs, it's it's always from an Asian seller. I think I saw it one time for sale by a European seller, but the starting price has always been $700. I'm not going to pay $700 no matter how much I love this series. I would love to have it, but for my collection, but yeah, I'm not going to pay that. So those are my new purchases or new acquisitions for this particular episode. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit longer here than I usually do for these, but leave a comment in the down under. And I know there are some other Evangelion CD releases out there that I don't have yet. Let me know what you think about them. I strongly urge you to check out Anohni as well as her earlier material under Anthony and the Johnsons. And hey, and if you do like this noise metal that I picked up, Extreme Noise Terror, talk to me about it. Let me know, what's the deal with it? Because, it doesn't appeal to me, but that doesn't mean it doesn't appeal to other people. Remember that I'm on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo. I'll have links to these in the down under. And as always, remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.